to This is Pikeville, one of our favorite shows that we do concerning things that are going on in the city. Main Street Director Minta Trimble joins us, and today we have special guest Director of Events Andy Linton is joining us today. We have so much to talk about, guys, so let's just get buckled in and get started. Thank you both for being here with us today, because this is a time that is so fun for all of us, because there's so many things going on in the city that we want to make sure everybody attends and gets involved with. So the one thing I do want to start with, Andy, and this was something that was a lot of fun for you on so many levels. Hatfield-McCoy Heritage Days just wrapped up at the end of September, and it was such a blast. The rain kind of got in our way on Saturday, but still, what a fun event.
Yeah, it's always a good weekend at the Hatfield-McCoy Heritage Days. We always start off with a Rough Tough Cuss. That's been an event that I've done for the last 4 or 5 years.
Well, when you say you've done, have you participated?
I've never participated in that event,
I always have
unfortunately.
to ask.
No.
Yeah.
But you know, Joe Thornsberry and them guys put on an awesome race. We had over 200 registrations in 3 days with the bullet and the gun and the cuss.
The cuss, yeah. A lot of people, and I have friends that come from hours and hours away, downstate from Louisville and all these places, even from Ohio, that come to participate and really put themselves through what I consider to be one of the craziest courses I have ever seen for running. But they have so much fun.
Yeah, Castle and Flanagan, they actually do a great job of creating obstacles. They had 28 obstacles this year up there, almost 8 miles worth of obstacle running. Definitely not something that I can do. So.
It's great to sit back and watch it, though. I was actually up on Bob Amos Hill at the Overlook right before it started, and there was one of those obstacles set up, and I thought, what are they going to do with that? I mean, but you see all these different things that how creative they can be and come up with. So a lot of people participate and have a great time, and I'm certain that next year it's going to be the same way.
Yeah, they always come up with new and better exciting stuff every year. As a matter of fact, they're already planning next year as usual.
I like to say it's a little crazier than the year before, always. Also, now this is something that was new this year, was the arm wrestling tournament, and somebody that you know pretty well, the world champ, came in and tried his hand at a few different people here.
Yeah, well, 25 years ago, I used to arm wrestle myself, and my little brother is the world champion, 13-time world champion, and he been talking about trying to get him over here for years, and this happened to be a perfect opportunity to get him here. You know, he called everybody out Friday night, $20,000 for the first person that could beat him, and unfortunately nobody walked away with the $20,000, so he's still undefeated.
We had a lot of people that that tried their hand or thought they were going to try to arm wrestle, and I meant you saw some of this, and it was a lot of people they talk a lot of stuff, don't they?
Yeah.
They didn't take any money, though, so I guess they can talk it, but they can't take it.
That's right. But what a fun time for people to get to sit back. Of course, we had to move it inside on Saturday.
Because of the rain,
Because of the rain.
But we actually had the firemen versus the police department. So the fireman team won, but out of the chiefs, the police department won. Chris Edmonds beat Packy, and but both of those they actually. You know, we donated some money to their charities, and it was all good.
I hope we have great video and pictures of that somewhere that just drift off, you know, that we can pull those up if we need to at some time.
We actually did Facebook Live for that.
Oh,
so
did you really?
Yes, we did.
And, you know, that's bragging rights for a year, because we should do this again next year.
Well, that's what I was going to ask. Do you plan on doing it again next year?
We're absolutely going to try to do this again next year, and hopefully make it bigger.
Yeah, that's one of those really fun things. We have a lot of events coming up in October. Now, Minta, you have several events coming up. Andy, you have several events. One of the things that is coming up is the Craft Beer Festival. This year it's called Hoptoberfest. It's going to be on October 6th. Over 70 vendors or craft beers going to be there. And such a fun time. And it's the fall season, so that's when everybody starts to gather in. The weather gets a little cooler, and you want to get out with your buddies and take in some great events, and this is going to be a lot of fun. Yes,
it's actually going to be a great event this year. They moved it down a week or two just because of the heat, and September was really hot last year. But we're up, you know, we're actually sold more tickets than we sold last year already. This is actually a walk-up crowd, but we got over 75 different craft beers for you to taste. The event starts at 2 o'clock for the VIPs, and then regular admissions at 3.
Yeah. The weekend after that is something I know. I mean, when I hear anybody talk about drag race or streetcars, Andy Linton always pops in my head because this literally is your baby.
Yeah.
You love these events. And I'll tell you, if you've never been to one of them, I mean, I've always had a dream of driving a race car. I don't know if you knew that or not, but you go and you really get literally the need for speed. Would you see this happen? And this is so much fun, but the kids is what is the best part about it.
Yeah, the kids get into it too, and we actually have a lot of guys that you know, take their kids down the track a little bit. You know, just on a fun part, just ride down the track, and not that they're racing or anything, but we don't allow that during racing. But they do a great job. There's a lot of people that come. You know, we're averaging 50 cars. This year, this upcoming race here in October, we'll have our first side-by-side race. Last year, last
maybe
month
we could do that.
I know, we could, girls
Maybe we could do
that.
the
Does it have to be
side-by-side.
a car?
It has to be a side.
A side by side. We could do that.
Okay. I'm not getting the visual here, though, but
We'll
we'll
figure it
work on
out. Can you imagine, Andy, what that would look like?
We got rained out last month,
Right.
so the October will be our first month for the side by side, sponsored by McCoy's, and they have that Can-Ams that come down there that are super fast, and it'll be a good turnout. I hope we have a good turnout.
So they race against each other at the same time instead of individually.
Right. Yeah. It's a lot of fun. I imagine
see that.
it would be a lot of fun. It would get me behind the wheel of something fast. How about that? Or fast
It
enough.
gets pretty fast down there. I rode last year in one of the cars, you know, just as a test and tune, and I was amazed.
Yeah.
You can bring your car down and race it.
Okay.
We do have a streetcar class.
Okay, I'll think about that, Andy. Thanks. I will. I'll think about it. But you know, if you've never attended, make sure that you mark your calendars for the 12th and 13th of October because it's a lot of fun and everybody needs to see it. I feel like we're talking all about Andy's events. We're going to get to Minton in just a second, but this is something that you all participate in. Nightmare on Main is one of those events that I have been involved with for a number of years, getting to come and see what's going on. And it's just bigger and better every single year. But it started as a safe Halloween trick-or-treat for kids in the city where they close off the Expo Center and just collect all the candy in the world.
Yeah, I remember when it first started, it was, you know, a handful of businesses,
Yeah.
and now we're up to over 50. We get, you know, we've got an event out of it.
Yeah.
Last year, I believe we ended up with about 3,200 kids, about 14,000 people that walked through the expo in 3 hours.
In 3 hours. Now get your mind around that for
That's-
just a minute because people start lining up literally 2 hours before the doors open. I mean, I've seen it. They snake all the way around and down Main Street from the main entrance door there at the Expo Center. But it's so much fun to see the businesses and their staff get together. What a fun event for them.
That gets so creative. I remember one year, I guess it was the hospital that did operation, and they had someone laying there, and they get very creative with their their booth or their table as to, and the kids very much enjoy it. We did hot dogs one year, and I thought, we can't hold a candle to, just to trying to give them a hot dog. They wasn't there for a hot dog. They wanted candy and the entertainment.
It's certainly one of those things where, like you said, the businesses do get creative and they get so involved and they do start planning. As soon as it's over, the door is shut, they start planning for the next year. But it gives them an opportunity, too, to get together and to bond and to be kids again and have fun. And when you see the little ones come through there and know that it's a safe environment, and then you have city officials walking around in their costumes. Of course, I asked Andy what he was going to be, and he was like, I'm going to be Andy, of course. But I guarantee he and Jimmy will get into some kind of something going on.
We'll think of something.
Yeah, but earlier that day, and we always talk a lot about this, is one of the just the best things is the time that the special needs kids in our community get to go in and have the Expo Center to themselves for about 3 hours when it's not so crowded and so, I don't want to say chaotic, but busy, you know, because it gives them a chance to have a lot of fun too, and it's something that everybody should see.
Yeah, YMCA has been doing this for years. We've always had the Nightmare on Main, but they've always done their special needs in the morning. This year, we're actually asking for some volunteers to come out and, help us hand out more candy and set up booths so that we can do, bobbing for apples and things like that.
Yeah.
So if you want to volunteer just to come out and dress up and hang out with the kids that morning, we do it from 9 to 12. Usually we have about, 15, 20 booths, so to speak, to set up and hand out candy, but this year we're trying to double that.
Yeah.
So
I think Main Street's going to do that this year. This will be our first time that we'll be doing, just the morning part and, doing it especially for the kids and having I think it's going to be really fun. I think
It
just
is.
getting the board together, and
Yeah.
I'm really looking forward to it.
Definitely be a lot of fun. And like I said, if you've never been down there to see how active it gets in the evening, with all the creativity that the businesses have and handing out candy, the morning will be a lot of fun too. And you mentioned bobbing for apples. I mean, that's something that I did as a child. I mean, at our Halloween parties when I was in Girl Scouts and things like that. But you could also do pies in the face.
Right.
I mean, that could be another thing. I mean, I envisioned we could put Jimmy Taylor there and see if you could throw a pie
Yeah.
to hit him.
Gummy worms.
Gummy worms,
That
just
is
whatever.
a great idea.
I'm
I
telling
really-
you, just kind of happened.
We may have to do that.
I think it'd be a great idea. And I'll
I
tell you
know
what,
that-
I'll volunteer to make the whipped cream pies. How about that?
Okay.
I'll do it. But it is a lot of fun. So make plans, if you haven't already, to attend Nightmare on Main. It does run like a well-oiled machine. There are a lot of people that go through there, but it is as organized as anything that you can imagine.
And if you're wanting a booth, if you want to partake as a business to come and set up a booth, you can email me and I'll make sure that I get a hold of you.
What's the
My
date
email
on
is
that again? Andy, I'm so
October
sorry.
25th.
October the and that's is that Tuesday or Thursday
That's
or
actually a Thursday.
Thursday?
Thursday night, yeah.
Thursday night. Okay.
So you can make plans. And of course, Halloween, our trick-or-treat is going to be on the 30th this year. So get your trick-or-treating done just a little bit early. And if you always watch the weather too, because obviously this is inside and it's going to be dry. So if Halloween is a little bit wet, as sometimes it is, then you can get your trick-or-treating out of the way. Batman will be there. I do want to mention that because it's not just collecting candy. There are a lot of different activities.
Yes, we actually have bouncy houses. We have the bouncy houses there. We have a couple of surprise guests that'll show up. But we will have Batman and Wonder Woman's coming. We have a lot of people that are dressing up the Minions and Paw Patrol, those kind of things that'll be there.
So great.
So it's going to be a whole lot of people dressed up and giving out candy. And, I'm sure we'll have the Mayor of Gotham City will probably be there as well.
Of course. Oh, I hope so. That's one of those things I look forward
Me
to
too.
the most. The most. Certainly a lot of fun. Alltech and Dueling Barrels and Bank 253, they're going to host a Halloween block party too.
Yes, that's on Friday night. That's for the adults. So the adults can get into their games as well. On 2nd Street there in front of the bank, they're going to actually have I think they're trying to do they'll have the games and cornhole, and they're just going to be outside there having a Halloween block party.
Yeah. Are they going to have the giant Jenga again?
Yes.
Do you remember that
Yes.
from the last event they had? That
Yes.
What fun
Yes.
that is. And you talk about competitive spirit. Minta, the zombie run, all things Halloween, all things, trick or treat. Zombie run's going to be on the 27th.
It is. This is something that that the city and Main Street are working together on, and Main Street's really excited. We've done in the past, I think, the Glow Run and things, but the Zombie Run, it's new for us, and we're very excited because I want to partner it with something for a cause, and I know a couple other Main Streets have done their zombie run, walk, or creep, crawl, whatever you can do to get there, but to have it like food oriented. So I think this year we're going to do it as a food drive for the blessing boxes around town. The city of Pikeville, the police department has one, the churches does, but we want to make this, instead of the zombies going after brains, they're bringing food.
They're bringing food. So really serving a purpose.
So, and we're going to try to coordinate that also with the zombie parade. So, it's not just a run, that maybe we'll get to have the parade on 2nd Street, and then the kids can join in as well too, and make it a little bit more festive, to have it all inclusive. That after, what starts at 10 o'clock, is that what we've decided, Andy,
Yeah,
at 10
10
o'clock?
o'clock.
I'm sorry, I interrupted Andy's email address a while ago. I apologize. You might want to give him that to finish up with the other.
And we'll finish up all those with at the end of
Okay.
emails. But I do want to say the zombie run is so much fun. And when you talk about having it with a purpose and doing it for the blessing boxes that are around town, it is amazing to me the number of people that really get into the zombie community thing when they're able to dress up like these zombies. And it's amazing to me. And the work that goes into the makeup and the artistry and even the little itty bitties. I mean, they love it too.
They do, and it's really funny. I've never really followed the TV show, The Walking Dead.
I do.
Are you a big follower? Okay.
I am.
It's okay.
And I really don't understand why. I mean, I don't get it, but it is, I guess it's just one of those things where it allows a little bit of escape, so it's not reality, that, but it's so much fun to just kind of follow the storyline. But certainly around the Halloween season, the zombie run is the perfect addition to any town, with adults and teenagers and kids alike really taking part and having a good time. I've even seen people dress their pets up. you know, with zombie costume. It's the craziest thing, but certainly one of those things going to be a great picture opportunity to put on our Facebook pages
Right,
for it.
and that's where you'll find more information is on
Right.
Main Street Facebook and the City of Pikeville Facebook,
Yes.
Visit Pikeville. So, yeah, we're still lining out the details. So,
More to come.
more to come.
How about that? More
Yep.
to come. Annie, one other thing I do want to mention, the night that we have Nightmare on Main, that's also going to be Halloween.
Yes, Halloween's
For
happening
the
in the
adults.
park.
Yeah.
That'll be in City Park. I think the EKB's setting up inside the park there, and most of their, I was told most of their things will be there within the city. So you can
Within
do-
the city, all the clues will
Yeah.
be within the city limits. So it'll be able to be walked if you want to walk to find clues, or you can drive, or you can bike, whatever have you. Crawl like a zombie, it doesn't matter. But those clues will be hid within inside the city limits. So if you're at Nightmare on Main with your kids and you get finished trick or treating, certainly from 6 to 8 you can come out and take part in. It's been a scavenger hunt for nearly 40 years, I think. I mean, it's been one of the longest running things that EKB has had, and it is so much fun. And families get together, and now they're bringing their grandkids out, you know, that have done it for years to do the scavenger hunt. So in the park and around the city. So a big night on the 25th. And I do want to mention too, on the cruise in by the river. Talk a little bit about that real quick.
Yeah, the Good Old Boys Car Club, they actually moved their cruise in and car show down by the river behind McDonald's and Applebee's down there. I'd like to mention that, you know, Clinton Justice and Freddie and them guys, they're doing a great job. They had over 110 cars there last Friday, so very big. It's getting huge down there. So they're, you know, if you want to cruise in and just show your car and go look at some cars, that's where you need to go.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun, especially when you go down there and you just walk around and see how people really put a lot of love and time and energy into their you know, modern cars or classic cars, whatever have you. It's really a neat thing.
Yeah, and to have that many cars down there, they're starting to run out of space.
I was going to
But
say
that's a good thing.
That is a good thing. Busy and out of space is a great thing. And speaking of space, November is going to be here before we know it's kind of the kickoff to holiday shopping season. I mentioned that you and I talk about it a lot, how things go so fast and the years just are flying by. We're planning Shop Small Saturday again, going to be right after Black Friday, so to speak.
Then Shop Small. Right.
Then Shop Small. And our local businesses in the city of Pikeville and in the downtown community, I mean, it's just one of those things where I love to park and just walk the streets because you always see something new. But the amount of businesses that we have and the gift ideas and the opportunities you have to shop local and stay right here at home and not have to go anywhere, it never ceases to amaze me.
Well, you know, it is an excellent opportunity, you know, because at that time we get to, you know, put the lights up on Jenny Wiley. You know, all of the beautiful decorations comes out. And we do the same thing for Shop Small Saturday that we kind of have done for the wine tasting and kind of like the retail gating that we had in September. So we do that so people can walk along the streets and they can kind of go in and out of the shops. We have festivities, and then we follow up that evening with the tree lighting, which involves, you know, the mayor and the city commission and singing. And this year it's just going to involve so much more because we lead into Winterfest. So we'll have a lot more involved. But that is Saturday, November the 24th, Shop Small. That's a national program that was brought about by American Express to help small businesses. But take that day, you know, if you know, don't get mauled, as they say, don't get completely mauled out. Remember, shop small. You know, your local businesses, when you shop small, over 60% of the dollar stays in your local community. That's recycled back into, you know, the businesses, and it makes things a lot easier for the economy when you shop small.
You know, people talk a lot about wanting shopping for the holiday season to be easy and needed it to be as efficient as possible and to not have to go to all these places. Well, I can't think of a better way to support your community, support your local businesses than to park your car on 2nd Street and just start walking. You know, because you will find some of the most unique things, and anything that I mean, sometimes I think it's easier just to go to a mall and get whatever, but when you really get to see the unique gift ideas that we have in the downtown area that have so much meaning behind them, like I think about Mickey's and Rustic Roots and Art and Gift and CC Bell. You know, you go especially into Rustic Roots when you see a lot of handmade items and things that you literally cannot get anywhere else.
Because they have a story attached to them usually, and it's something that you can, you know, pass along or you know, give as a gift, and there's a little bit of thought involved. So yeah, we're really excited about it. That day will lead right into Christmas.
Yeah, be here before we know it.
Absolutely.
Certainly, we've talked about Winterfest coming back again this year. First year last year, learned a lot of things, but this year going to be even more space for people to try their hand at ice skating. I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing for people like me who really are scared to death to try it.
More
But
spaces to fall down.
more spaces to fall down. You know,
More
one of
people to
those-
fall over you.
That's right. That's right.
No, I didn't see a lot of falling.
Yeah, it's no, because they have the pushers, the helpers, if you
Trainers.
will. Yes, we need a lot of those. 75% larger than last year. The ice skating surface is going to be, so even more of an opportunity to get together with your families. And of course, other things go on, not just the ice skating in the city park, but I know that the planning that goes into that is some of the best fun, and it really is transformed into a winter wonderland.
It is.
Yes.
It is beautiful. And something I want to mention this year will be a first. We're partnering with the University of Pikeville and their band. And the band director there is putting together something called Tuba, T-U-B-A, Christmas, to where on the steps of the 99 we'll have a lot of different brass instruments and horns and just tubas, and that will play some music, and that's going to be a great event because that's a traveling thing. It's not just somebody that got together just for that one time. They do that, and it's going to be very impressive. So I'm looking very much forward to that to happen during Winterfest.
Yeah, Winterfest, we're already taking reservations for school groups or church or civic organizations that may want to reserve some rink time.
Yes.
And they can contact you already to do that.
Yes, they can contact me or Jimmy. We're having school packages, and then we also have group packages as well. So get you coming. You know, it's going to be a pretty big time this year, so you might want to go ahead and get your times reserved.
Yeah, first come, first serve.
Absolutely.
So make sure you go ahead and if you hear about it, go ahead and make that call now, because again, it will be here before we know it. Minta, I do want to mention something. We talk about the award that the Kentucky League of Cities just awarded the city of Pikeville, and what an enormous and wonderful award and recognition for our city and our city employees, but also the beautification of our downtown is something that has also been recognized, and you're a huge, huge part of that. And you're forever changing the way that things look and making sure that everything is updated. So there's going to be some new planters and new trash cans to make it pretty.
Right. Some new flags. We're getting some new American flags. You know, we want to pay our tribute for Veterans Day. I think that comes up around November. So, you know, look forward to hearing more information with that. But I'm excited, you know, because the city is so in tune with keeping things clean and beautiful, and realizes that part of that is, you know, we have to maintain some of what we had, and sometimes it's time to replace. So we're looking forward to some new trash cans. I know that sounds kind of like trash cans, and planters, and some new ideas. You know, I've met with some of the girls at UMG that does the landscaping, and just bringing some new things about. And so, yeah, last year we won the State Beautification Award for the best beautified Main Street. So we're very proud of that and want to keep that up.
Right, certainly so. And you know, as you travel around the state, and I know both of you do, a lot of us that work with the city and certainly with my job, I get to hear a lot of comments about people that come into our city and they know of my involvement, and they're like, how does this work? I mean, how does this happen? How does it always have all these unique opportunities, and it's so pretty, and you get out and you walk around, and really I think has set the bar for other places in our area, and certainly throughout the state. You know, the bigger cities, you always think about the Lexington, Louisvilles, even downstate more, but they're really taking notice of what we're doing here and the pride that we have in our community, and really people are taking notice and trying to up their game, I guess, so to speak. But what a wonderful, you know, imitation is a wonderful form of flattery, and we want to be the group of people that really sets that standard, and it's working because we have so many beautiful communities around our area.
We really do, and you know, those coming together, like you said, they want the ideas of what we're doing, and it's good to share.
It really is, and I know both of you talk to people all the time that say, well, how do you do this drag racing, you know, every month in the summer? How does that happen? Well, it starts with an idea.
Starts with an idea, and you just keep going with it. It's funny, me and Jimmy went to a conference over in Bowling Green at the Corvette Museum, and we got a chance to drive some Corvettes, but while we were there, everybody kept asking me, well, how do you drag race in a parking lot? So you'll have to come and see.
That's right. Invite them in, because when they come, they think that's an idea I'm going to take home. And I meant the same thing with you. When you go to even your National Main Street Conference, people are still really taking note of what's going on in the city of Pikeville and downtown.
Yeah, I mean, it is. It's amazing that, you know, you can help put Kentucky on the map in a different sort of way. And we're getting a chance to do that. And some of the projects that the city has, you know, in their plans for the next couple of years, we've talked about those as to how that will, you know, bring new changes too. And I would love to see us to be able to go to national and win that big award that everybody strives for, as being recognized as the National Main Street GAMSA, as they call it, award winner. But
the one thing I do have to ask you, is Jenny Wiley going to be lit up again this year with the lights? Because it seems that everybody took Christmas photos for their cards or for their Facebook or whatever in front of that lit up Jenny Wiley.
it is. The Main Street program, we copied that from another town in Michigan, but they lit up their whole town. So each year I want to keep adding buildings. You know, the first year it was just Jenny Wiley. Last year we added, I think, 3 more buildings, and this year I'm going to add a couple more and incorporate some little red and green color in there. Maybe, I don't know, maybe keep it all white. But yeah, that's definitely going to happen, and I just appreciate the building owners letting us do that and make it a beautiful festive place at Christmas time.
Well, it is one of the most festive places you can go, certainly around our area. I would put it up against anybody, and just certainly the time and the effort and the idea, Andy, like I said, that goes into just that one idea can really just expand and grow, and we see what it is now, and I have no doubt it's just going to get better and better.
And when I was in Michigan, it's where I had the privilege of going in February, and they were just taking down their lights, and they do probably 10 blocks of buildings.
Wow.
And it was amazing to see the big reels of just lights and lights and lights. And you think, that's such an undertaking, their whole city does it. So yeah, I'm pretty happy about that. But we want to mention also really quick that about the registration for the Christmas parade.
Yes.
Absolutely. Christmas parade, always fun, going to be December 8th this year.
Yes.
And how can people register for the Christmas parade?
They can go to visitpikeville.com and register, or pikevillemainstreet.com, and we'll have the registration form on there. And we really want to, you know, ask everyone to join us this year from the local schools. You know, I remember when I was in band in high school, you know, it was the Christmas parade was a big major thing. If you were in band, you were marching in the parades.
Right.
And so we really, really want the schools to participate this year. We're going to be reaching out to them and asking them, because with the new choir director at Pike, he is all about music, and they're going to have a float, and they're going to be marching or talking or doing something that involves music during the parade. So we'll be reaching out to all of the local schools, the county schools, and everyone, and ask them to join us December the 8th.
And make a float.
Yes.
Like make an old-fashioned float. That's what I remember from when I was a kid. The Christmas parade all lit up with the big, you know, the big long trailers behind the semi trucks, if you will, and all the kids on there dressed for Christmas or caroling, and just go ahead and get your float ideas together, because that would be a lot of fun to do.
Well, that's going to be a full day as well, because the expo will be having the Christmas bazaar. And then we'll have the parade, and then I'm sure there'll be Winterfest going on, and then there'll be hot chocolate, so it's going to be fun all day.
It's going to be a party. Quickly before we run out of time, Andy, Facebook page for your events.
Visit Pikeville.com.
Visit Pikeville.com, Minta.
Pikeville Main Street.
All right, check it out. And listen, stay tuned, because we'll be talking a lot more about great events coming up in the next few weeks. Guys, such a pleasure to have you. Andy, thanks for joining us
thanks
today.
for having
Minta,
me.
thank you as
Thank you,
always.
Jill.
This is Pikeville. Thanks so much for spending part of your time with us.